Welcome, welcome, welcome to our live stream, day 22. If you stay to the end of this stream, you will learn how to build an AI workforce that can help you market your business, generate leads, create content, automate operations, and save hours every single week, right? Using the same system I'm building live from scratch. By the end, you'll understand how to create your own AI native company from the ground up, even if you're just getting started. So I'm John, and this has been my passion, right? Because over the last few years, we've seen the greatest transformation and shifts happening from how can I say, from the mobile age, it's also I say the revolution of the industry age, right, to the technological age, to the mobile age, the internet age, and now we're in the AI age, and we're moving towards the AI digital workforce age in the next 5 to 10 years. So let me show you, right, a system I built which you can copy. Let me just share my screen. We built this platform, right? Think about it for a second. Imagine walking to your office tomorrow. You're not, how can I say, you're empowered to a team of 10 employees, but to a team of 10 AI agents, digital employees that have already started to work before you even woke up. One researched competitors, one wrote social media posts, one replied to customers' service inquiries, one actually handed, or shall I say, generated 20 leads, one updated your CRM, one analyzed your marketing campaigns, one organized your projects, one prepared your sales, follow up emails, and your chief operating officer coordinated and prioritized every need that needed attention today in your business. This isn't science fiction, it's happening now. And over the last 20 days, I've been building this live exactly in public. Welcome back to this challenge of building a AI native company from the ground up. Every day we create another piece of the puzzle, what I believe to become the future operating systems of how business will operate and conduct and do business. Not just chatbots, not just another AI tool, an entire digital workforce. Today I'm pulling back the curtain, right? I'm showing you my system, right? I'm going to show you how exactly build the architecture behind our AI workforce, how every AI employee fits together, and how they share knowledge, and how to remember your business protocols, and how they actually complete real work tasks that generate, right? The biggest mistake people make is thinking that AI is just operating like ChatGPT, asking a few questions, thinking about like a prompt. It's not. The real power comes when you build automated systems, when you build an AI workforce. And every AI has a job, has a responsibility, has a memory, has the right tools, and has the ability to work together like a real company. And here's the real shift that we're actually happening to: running a business powered by AI employees. So let me just get my dashboard up to show you, right? And this is the future of how companies are being built. Companies that lean on AI workforces, right, are going to move at the speed of lightning. They will innovate faster. They will have better customer service, create more content, be able to make quicker decisions, and scale at a fraction of the overheads than traditional companies have today. So if you're an entrepreneur, a freelancer, an agency owner, a creator, or someone who simply wants to build the business of the future today, you're exactly at the right place. Because by the end of the day stream, you will have a practical blueprint how you can start implementing and copy my system of strategy to build a digital AI native workforce. So grab a coffee, grab a notepad, and let's jump in. Let's go. So I'm just going to show you around my dashboard. let me show you. So here are agents, right? We built numerous different agents which are all working, right? And this is our agent swamp dashboard. So when I look at the agent swamp, I can see the sales agent working, our 48-hour YouTube agent working, our weekly scorecard, which we do, our VA appointment setup agent working, our cold calling strategy agent working, our community engagement agent working, right? Our fine audience agent working. So all when they're working, we see that there's a live beat, a pulse. Our YouTube script writer, our lost revenue. So these are all the agents that are working in our business, right? And right now, right? The ones in gray, they haven't been assigned a task yet. The ones in green are executing. The ones in red, they're paused, so there's an issue with it, right? So let me explain how it works. We developed a business playbook. Right, let me go to the business playbook. So this is the business playbook. And in our business playbook, we actually developed the brain, we call it the business brain of how our business operates, right? How the business operates. The business needs a brain to function, to liaise with all the agents. And that's how we get tasks done. So here we have our old business overview, what our offer, our core mission, what it does, the services that we deliver, right? It's all in our business brain. Now, 1 second. Let me. Yeah, now we have a sales process, our ads, our objection bank, our operations, our SOPs, our knowledge bank, right? And now the agents all have this access to the business brain. That's how they know how can execute tasks. But now we even working to turn this business brain into a operating system. This is the next task that we're going to optimize, right? To turn it into optimize. Let me just see. I haven't loaded. Normally with Vibe code, so I'm going to load our Vibe coding window. I'm launching these agents. Right, where they launch, right? This is how we built the platform. So this is key. Now we're turning it into a business operating system, right? So it can operate. It's the brain and nervous system, right, of the company. And then we have our missions, right? In missions, right? This is where we set up our coordinated, right? Agents are coordinated. We set up missions. So if I go to new mission, let me go to develop a workflow. So this is where we get a group of agents working together. So if I go to, let me see a YouTube system, right? This is where we are developing long form content. So we have our YouTube idea generator, right? After YouTube AI, right? Actually, let's just organize it like this. Our YouTube, we have our YouTube idea on rater, then we have a click-through rate, right? But then I'm just gonna develop our script writer, a YouTube script writer agent, what writes our scripts. We got a channel planner, right? So they plan and then we start connecting these agents together like this, right? And once we start connecting, now it forms a mission, right? And this mission can be executed. This is agent one, agent two, agent three, agent four, agent five, literally agent six, right? Agent seven. Let me just connect these agents and then I'm just gonna delete these other agents, right? Literally, this is how we create a chain of agents to work together. We call it a mission. Every day we have got to have weekly goals and daily goals, right? So this is how the agents work together because we built a mission control. And also, let me just go cancel this. Let me go back into mission control. We can ask it questions, right? From our business playbook. What missions needs to be created today, right? A mission control, because it knows our business playbook, it's going to come back and tell us what missions that we need to work on. So let's just wait while it loads, right? This is how the future of business is going to be operating, right? This is what we call an AI native company. So now it's just analyzing our business playbook, right? And in a few short moments, it's going to tell us what missions. Look, wow, right? Let's get this. It's going to tell us what agents need to be deployed in our business. So now it's telling us critical missions to create now. Mission 1, a lead activation campaign, right? Mission number 2, our outbound campaign. Mission number 3, right? Content distribution campaign, and then we need a promo campaign to promote it. So the customer mission controls already set up this, right? And we're making this even more powerful, right? Because now we're optimizing these agents. So so now we have an army of agents. Let me go to our employees. These are our employees, right? All of them, once we connect to business playbook, that's how the agent employee can start communicating with our business playbook, right? These are all our different agents. If I turn this on, right, you'll see they all have a role, a detailed role. These are specialized agents, a detailed role, a detailed task, right? All of them, right, in so much detail. So I'm going to go through some of them. So also we have our chief operating officer. Let me go to our chief operating officer. So we have our agents here all communicating, right? Now our agents, we're going to optimize them and empower them even more with more superpowers, right? But here we have a chief operating officer. A chief operating officer coordinates the day and coordinates the agenda. First thing in the morning, I walk up, I come into it, sends me an email, summary report of what's actually happening with all the agents we have on our team, deploying those tasks from the mission control and the company's the brain of what we're trying to achieve, right? Then we have different levels, right? We got a basic level, a medium level, and a superpower level. So once we get the hang of it, the chief operating officer now can start executing tasks, right, and assigning agents to do tasks. So here, right, this is priorities for today. Launch a lead generation system. Activate an outbound prospect campaign. Publish 3 areas of authority content, right? So it knows, right? It's getting all this from a business playbook, and then it can assign the task to a specific agent. And then we get alerts, right? And what I like best, when a task is done or task completed, and then after that we get alerts, we can monitor all the agents. This is like a human monitor, right? We can monitor agents here. Our chief operating officer can also monitor agents, right? So this is the future of work, right? All these agents have been assigned a task, a role, a goal, and the chief operating officer is coordinating them all of them. So let me go into run. And also the chief operating officer notes, right, when an agent has finished their job, it reports back. So let's see some of these tasks, right? This is the biggest. Sometimes some of the tasks we used to take, like our human stuff, like 7 to 24 hours, even a week. Now look at these tasks being done by these agents. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, right? 3 minutes. The average time is like 5 to 7 minutes for an agent to complete a task. So it just changed the game in productivity wise, right? So let me just see. I'm going to choose some agents so you can see how they work. This is our content agent for long form content, right? If I come here, I open the video library. right? We got we always optimizing our agents. We got our YouTube planner, right? Then we have our this is the ideas to generate ideas. We go into the niche, we can put our top 10 competitors here, like Alex Mosey, Iman Gutsi, Serge, these are top competitors, and we can analyze what their top performing videos are, right? Give us a deep insight to what's actually happening in the marketplace so we can find outliers, right? So then after we got a script agent, right, which generates our script. We can write a script, either a talking head script from a transcript, right, or some from inspiration. We choose what type of script we want, the length of the script, right? The style of script, talking head or animation, what we want to achieve, right? And then basically it will just generate a script. I'm going to go to scripts that we generated earlier so you can see what it looks like. If I go to recent scripts, here you will see a script, right? 5 income skills AI will never replace. Right, this is the script what our platform generated, this agent generated. Right, I can go to the raw script and I can see the raw script layout, so we can use it for the teleprompter. We can optimize it here, right? Yeah, we can make changes, right? So this is an example: 5 high income skills AI will never replace. The most valuable skill of the next decade isn't coding, it's not graphic design, it's not even AI prompt engineering. Why everybody's racing to learn technical skills that AI is getting better at every single day. There's a complete different category of abilities that are becoming exponentially more value. Skills that pay 100,000 to 200,000, even £500,000 a year. These skills are not AI fundamentally cannot replace. So this is an example of a script, right? We're going to shoot this script, etc. Right. So if I can take this, I can bring it into our teleprompter, right? And then we can start shooting. But here, what's exciting, we've got hook variations, we've got a premise, right? We've got intro script, we got retention hooks, right? We've got outro scripts, we've got monetization methods, how we can monetize the script. We've got expansion series, you want to expand on that, right? And what's even more in title, we've got thumbnail suggestions, but we've got B-roll. If I open up this, right, we can capture B-roll. We go to a B-roll studio. Now I can paste the script in here and you can start generating B-roll. Let me go to something that we prepared before, right? So this is a script before, right? It generates B-roll. The B-roll looks like this, just needs to be reloaded. So every scene has its own B-roll which it can generate, which is interesting. And we're going to optimize the method, how this actually works as well, right? So this is the B-roll studio, right? Then we can produce content at alarming quick rate, right? Increase the productivity, supply the pipeline of content for ourselves and for our clients, right? Even let me go to a next agent. Right, most agents have a dashboard, right, which we display, so that then we can start learning what the agent is actually doing. Let's go to our calls agent, right? So if I go to our auto dialer agent, right, our auto dialer agent can dial inbound and outbound calls, right? If we're doing a Facebook lead campaign, after the lead comes in, within 30 seconds, right, the agent can call. And when the agent calls, not only that, we have another agent, which is a sales analysis agent, which analyzes the calls, right? As you're going to see here as the calls load, right? It analyzes the calls, and we can see which call has commercial intent, which now an appointment set I can set, or a closer can later on close that specific client based on the commercial information that has been given on the phone call, right? It's just loading right now. So here, these are all different calls. What will happen, right? We had through a recent campaign 2,000 calls that were made, right? It would be possible for us to individual listens in. So there's a reason we can use the calls for training, we can use the calls for commercial intent, and they're scored at any given time. So this is a sales dashboard, right? And our sales inbound agent or outbound agent, whatever campaign we're running, right, comes and all the data is imported here. So it just changes the game. Now, let me go to our let me go to our task flow board. And also here we can prioritize tasks, right? The agent can put tasks in here, what need to be done, and they can be executed. So let me go to this Claude Cowork task. And Claude Bot also, this platform also integrates with Claude Bot, what does the work, right? So let me go to the task list, right? So we see tasks here, things to do, schedule, delegate, delete, right? Things to do's list. The agent can literally pre-populate this list every single day, just a whole nother level. The chief operating officer is the person responsible. How we make this platform possible, we connect all the different platforms that we work with here so the agents can have access to them, and also either through API or MCP. This is an MCP connector, right? Which connects this platform connect to 1,000 different platforms or offers that server connection. So it just changes the game. And the agents also can work in the platforms that we can go and connect. Now, let me run this agent, the weekly scorecard agent. I want to show you how we can stay on top of our game every single week. Let me go to a new run. So if I open this dashboard of the weekly score agent, right, I'm just going to pre-populate, fill it with example data, but it asks all the key questions. A lot of these data questions come from accounts, a CPM, a merchant account, right, etc. But let me just pre-populate with data, right, example data. Now I'm going to build a dashboard, right? Most companies or most businesses are hard to keep on track of their weekly data, their weekly metrics, which is so important for productivity. But with this agent now, right, we have a weekly scorecard. The agent scores different areas of the business to make me, right, and my exec team aware of what's actually happening in a given day and time, especially that we're running AI agents and have a digital workforce. So while that loads, I want to show you some critical examples, right? This is the future that we're living in, right? You can copy my system. I'm going to show you how you can do that towards the end. As that's building, right? Let's see. It's just crunching the numbers now. Let me also go and show you this feature, right? How these agents work while it's happening. So we set up the agents work within a browser, right? So now sometimes, especially when we're working with clients, they just create a browser session and agents can go and log into that browser session. Right. So there's an error. They can log into that browser session, right? And when they log into that browser session, they can see the performance of agents working. What that enables us to do is that we don't always have to keep on requesting passwords, right? We pass authentication and all these factors. So each agent has like a dedicated workspace that it works in. Just like if you have a physical office, you give each employee a workspace and a computer maybe to operate. These agents operate the same method and same way, right? So that just changes this game of how agents can work. So let me just go and see. So now we're back at the weekly scorecard dashboard agent, right? Now it's pulled back all the stats of what's happening. Example, right? It's showing us like our net revenue, overall score, our total leads, right? The pipeline, what's actually happening, the biggest bottlenecks. Your biggest bottlenecks is not your lead volume, right? It tells us what our biggest bottlenecks in, right? Then it's got a score summary, right? It summarizes the score in different areas from lead gen, revenue, sales pipeline, marketing, operations founder. Just imagine you have this in deployed system in your business deployed, right? You have agents, no matter what kind of business are working for you, the game is changing, right? It calculates your metrics, right? In your business across different facets, marketing, sales, etc. Right? It's the sales pipeline. It calculates your metrics, right? And it makes you understand your numbers, right? It does this at any given time. Most companies have to have meeting after meeting. Literally, it will pull this data within 5 minutes, like what you just saw. And even the marketing data is pulling it from Facebook or your lead channels, and it's telling you the bottlenecks. This is what changed the game. The AI agent works out from all the data what bottlenecks are existing. Your biggest bottlenecks are not volume. You generate 120 leads, right, with a value of $4.20 say per lead. Your problem is that 10% of those leads, 12% are getting booked, right? So it even tells us what these issues are, what these bottlenecks are, right? Which is, and then the chief operating officer can go and work on these bottlenecks, right? It's a whole nother level. It tells us our key wins, right? Then recommends an action plan for us every single week. Just imagine that productivity, right? That productivity is on a whole nother level. It gives us a list of our next action plan and our next week's targets, right? This is an agent. Then it runs us a full report, right? How is this agent doing that? You might think, right? I'm gonna show you, right? Literally, lead generation, sales, revenue, marketing, operations, the founder. So imagine having this system, right? This agent working in your business, right? 52 weeks in a year, right? Every quarter, your business is going to be on next level, right? You're going to know your bottlenecks. You can scale drastically, right? Is this possible? Because we're connecting to different data points, right? Facebook, Go High Level, Stripe, right? It's pulling the data in this agent, right? And making the calculations and scoring things according to your business playbook, right? This is a wonderful time to be living in, right? This is how we're making it possible. Let me go now and demonstrate another agent. Let me just see. All these agents have roles, which the chief operating officer helps execute. We got a mentor doc. I love this agent, right? This agent actually helps us understand documents. So let me just go to something I did before. So literally, right, I can give a document. It actually breaks down that document for the agents to understand, right? And gives it in its format, right? Focus area, challenge, observation, etc. And if we're not sure about any one of these, I can extend, right? Discuss with a coach. I can discuss parts of a documentation or a meeting notes with the coach. Is going to come back and tell me and help me understand. Upon that, right, I can assign tasks. I can assign tasks, generate tasks from like a specific meeting, right? The agents will go and do specific tasks, like identify the three prompters that are critical to daily habits, right? Imagine from meeting notes, right? Literally can be executed. Consolidate the top three CEOs into the primary focus area. Right, it's telling me what to do. Then I press generate tasks, it's going to generate those tasks, right? And also I can implement some deep work Claude to do this, right? A task. So we can even have a Claude but work on these tasks on a deeper level. So we've got options. So this agent, right, helps us break down documents in a significant way. Whether it be a meeting, any type of PDF, this agent is at work and distributes the information back to the chief operating officer and back to our brain, the business brain. Oh my days, it's a whole next level, right? And also the schedule, right? This is a schedule. Every agent will schedule the task. We can see what's actually happening on a daily basis. And when leads come in, we can see leads from Go High Level automatically. Agents assign the leads, right? It's just a whole nother level, right? This is the system I'm telling you about. Let me go to chat. Right. And then we have agents that we can liaise, we can ask questions in our command center, right? So on top of that, this is next level stuff. Let me go to admin workspace. Now, also, when it comes to security wise, right, we have security based on our system, right? We're protecting like what's actually happening, right? This is a security agent, right? Telling us what issues are found, right, on our company. Imagine that, right? And our website. Just in case our offer goes down, we're running traffic, right? It measures, right, all these different factors. Authentication, MFA, password hashing, logins, right? Database management and access, API and MP access, data protection, and maintenance procedures, right? A security agent maintains, right, the system and checks for these factors, right, on a daily and weekly basis, right? So this is an army of AI agents at work. Let me go to our chat again. Let me change the workspace and go to my workspace. I'm going back to chat. So this is what it looks like to deploy an army of AI agents, right? And if you want to steal or copy our system, right? We work with businesses, etc. Just message me below in the description, right? And we'll reach out to you. But thank you for this live stream, and I'll see you on the next one.